Hello and welcome to the Truth About Content and what you're probably getting wrong. We have all been there. I have been there, and I am now here to tell you how you can stop getting it wrong and how you can start converting, because let's be real, that's what we're all here for. So let's get started. Now, you know your brand is important, but you're still scratching your head thinking, yeah, but how do I actually get people to see it? Let's fix that. If you haven't already done my brand masterclass and my brand workshop, let me know. I will send it to you. But if you have, you should already know how important your brand is. But let's get into the content now, because we need to get your brand out there. So, if your content was enough, you'd already have a wait list of dream clients now that you know your brand. But the truth is, most creators aren't struggling with consistency, they're struggling with conversion, and they're stuck in a loop of posting value that gets likes but really doesn't get any leads. And that's because content, it doesn't convert just because it's helpful. It converts because it's strategic. And that's what we're unpacking today. So, part one is why valuable isn't enough anymore. Because I'm going to be so real with you. 12, 24 months ago, you could just post a whole heap of tips and people would be like, yes, I love that. Absolutely. But now you need to go deeper than that. So, let's have a chat about it. Now, value in today's world means relevance, resonance, and direction. So, with that, if your content is missing even one of these, it might feel useful, but it won't move anyone. So, let's break that down. With your relevance, you need to ask yourself, are you solving the right problem? The right problem is so important. Most creators are answering questions no one is actually asking, or worse yet, their audience, they're not even ready to solve the problem, right? So it needs to be relevant to your current audience, the stage that they are currently at. The resonance. Does it feel personal and emotionally sticky? So you want your audience thinking, wait, this is exactly what I've been struggling with, and I couldn't put it into words. You want people just to feel like, yes, she gets it. The direction, you need to know, what's the next step? What's the takeaway? Are you moving them closer to a belief or a decision? So educational doesn't mean valuable unless it leads somewhere. I want you to remember that. Next, let's move to the next part, the psychology of conversion. So, if your audience doesn't believe you, doesn't feel urgency, or doesn't understand your offer, they won't buy. It actually gets to be that simple. So, let's get into this and make it so clear. So, conversion equals belief, urgency, and clarity, all wrapped up in one. The belief. This is, can I trust them? Do I believe they can help me? They're the questions that you need your ideal audience to be asking themselves and obviously answering in the right way for you. So, your job is to remove the doubt, right? Through stories, proof, and positioning. That's how you're going to remove the doubt. The urgency, that's a question that is this worth acting on right now? Do I need to make a move on this now, or can I just wait? Obviously, if they're going to wait, that's it. You're not converting. But if they feel an urgency, there you go, that you've got people moving. People don't procrastinate on things they feel that urgent. They create urgency by showing what staying stuck costs, right? Now, your clarity, this is the question. What exactly do I get if I work with you? Most content hints, it's like people are too scared to sell. It hints at the offer, but never clearly names the transformation or the method. You need to get so clear on that. So just remember that people don't buy the best solution. They buy what they understand, want, and believe will work for them. The next part that we're going to cover is what content that convert actually looks like, because you're probably listening to me and thinking oh yeah, that all sounds interesting, but how do I get that out? Well, I'm going to give you some examples. So we're going to go over some different shifts, right? So the shift number one is going to be, and obviously your niche, your audience, your products, your offers, you just need to put this into your own words. So shift number one is going to be from generic to specific, okay? So cross, obviously that's what we're not doing. We're not doing the here are 3 tips for showing up confidently on camera. That's so basic, boring, generic, right? What we are doing is something along the lines of, instead of the here are the 3 tips, we're going to go, I used to re-record stories 17 times before posting. Now I batch 7 videos in 20 minutes. Here's what's changed and how you can do it too. This is why it works, is it's real, it's relatable, it's outcome focused, and it's belief building. So, who hasn't been there? Who hasn't filmed the story so many times to get the right angle, to not mumble their words, to, do all of those things? It'd be a dream for some people just to be able to record 7 videos in 20 minutes. That's why people are going to move on this piece of content. Shift number 2 is from tips to transformation. So rather than here are 3 content ideas, that's so boring. I've heard that a million times. Let's go. Here's the one content shift that I made that turned 40 saves into 3 paid clients. Why it works is it's got proof, perspective, and curiosity, right? How many times have you got likes on your video? How many times have you got saves on your video? How many times have you got comments on your video? How many times have you got all of those things, which are great, but no conversions? I mean, what's going to be better? The conversion, right? That's what we're all looking for. We're looking for the paid clients. And so if you can say to people, I can show you how to go from having an audience that likes and saves your content to people that actually convert, they're in. They're so in. Last shift I'm going to talk about is from teaching to leading. So stop just giving information and start driving a belief. So an example would be like most content strategies are built around algorithms. Mine is built around how people buy, right? So that line alone positions you differently and makes people want to learn your way, because we've heard it a million times. We've heard like, oh, you've got to create content that the algorithm trusts, the algorithm likes, the what will create the content that the algorithm wants, like blah 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 blah. No one actually knows what the algorithm wants, right? No one, they don't just hand you over a little shining silver platter and be like, here you go, create this content and your content will go viral all day every day. And the thing is, if you have a look at top performing people on these platforms, there's people that are performing like at the top, at the very top, that have content that is completely different. It has no similarities whatsoever. It's just that they have really solidified their way of creating content that works for their audience. So really, what actually works is their way, everyone's way. There's no right, there's no wrong. I mean, there's definitely some things that you can do wrong, definitely, but like there's no one size fits all. And so when you can actually come out and you can become an authority and you can say like, I'm going to teach you my method, that's great. Someone, it's not going to be for everyone. It's absolutely not, but it's going to be for someone, and you are looking for that one person. Now, part 4 is crafting content that creates action, right? So I want you to think of this. Like, I want you to think of this as like a plug and play formula that works across different like formats, different types of content, but like always thinking, does it have this, 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 this? Yes, tick, post. If it doesn't, you're missing something, okay? So this is like a little bit of a structure for you. So we want to hook them, we want to belief shift, vision, and then we want to invite them, okay? So, for example, the hook. You don't need to post more, you need to post differently, because let's be realistic, how many times have we heard people saying post more, post more, post more, post more, and while in some cases that is correct, we also do need to post differently. So people are going to be a little bit like, oh, what's the different post? The belief shift is your audience isn't ignoring you, they just don't feel seen. Again, gonna get in people's minds. Vision, imagine posting once and waking up to 4 new DMs from people who get it. Like that is like Christmas for people, okay? And then we want to invite them. So that's what we build inside. Whatever your offer is called, let's do it together. Okay, so it actually gets to be this simple. Obviously, there's got to be more body to it, but this is just an example that every piece of content should move someone towards trust or towards a decision. So no filler, no fluff, just intentional influencer. We're not just here stuffing it with like irrelevant stuff that's going to bore people. We want to actually keep it so short, sharp, but also like it needs to actually hit the spot of curiosity, okay? So I'm going to quickly talk over 3 types of content that convert best. We're going to have clarity posts. So an example would be, here's what I do, who it's for, and how it works. These type of posts, they build trust and eliminate confusion, okay? Conviction posts, example, you're going to say things like, here's what I believe is that if this resonates, we'll get along. So these polarize the wrong people, exactly what you're looking to do, and it pulls in the right ones, okay? We're not trying to please everybody. We're not people pleasers here. The conversion post. Here's what's possible and here's how you can do it with me. These create momentum towards your offer. These are so black and white. These are so like straight to the point, But this is it. We don't want to create the confusion. We want to create clarity. If you don't have at least one of these posts each week, you're probably just entertaining instead of selling. Okay. Again, been there, done that. Now, if you want sales, I'm going to be so real with you. You need a system. So, content that converts, it isn't random. It's part of a system that's built to turn ideas into income without burning out or sounding like a sales page. You don't want that. And honestly, I have been there, I have done that, I have learned the hard way, and yeah, I'm here to save you time in that. So that is exactly what we're going to build next week inside of a little workshop that I am holding. I'm going to call it the content engine. So we'll map out you've already got your brand pillars if you've done the last workshop, okay? But we're just going to rehash over that so you know exactly what you are creating your content around, okay? We're going to create a weekly content plan, and we're going to teach you how to sell without sounding salesy in your content. So if you're in, I'm in. I will see you next week. If you have any questions, as always, shoot me a message. But yeah, so excited to see you inside.